Hello and welcome to Penrose Point State Park. My name is Stena Troyer. I'm the science specialist with Harbor WildWatch, and we're out here just wrapping up our day of beach monitoring out at Penrose Point State Park, one of our many beach monitoring sites here in the South Puget Sound area. And today we're going to feature measuring oysters. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the beach monitoring process. Something about crouching down on the beach and looking for oysters, big and small, and measuring them really just gets me going. So we're gonna take a look at what our community scientists are up to out here collecting oyster data. We're also excited because this is a pretty easy procedure. So if you're interested in monitoring your own beach for oyster recruitment, please email me at stena@harborwildwatch.org, S-T-E-N-A, and I would love to get you involved with measuring oysters at your beach. So you can shoot me an email and I'll get you connected. So I'm going to flip my screen around and just give you a nice view of the lovely beach we're at today. It is gorgeous out here, and you might hear folks yelling out numbers right now, and what they're doing is they're telling Josie over there what oyster sizes they're getting. So I'm gonna come visit Mike over here for a close-up of what's happening.
So we're finding our oysters here in the rocks. This is a Pacific oyster, and we're measuring the greatest length of the shell. They don't grow straight, so we just find from like here to out here, and we're going to measure that with our calipers. And we're going to tell Josie that that is 77 millimeters. Then we're also going to look at the other side of the rock, look to see are there any baby oysters that we might have missed, and if they're not, we move on. I tend to leave mine in a pile so I don't count them or measure them twice. And we move on to our next oyster and repeat. We try and get 100 oysters per site. This one's 74 millimeters.
You can kind of just see in this pile there's a nice little size range from this kind of medium oyster to the larger chunky ones, and then of course, I don't know, Mike, did you get this itty bitty baby?
I did not.
Sometimes
actually.
they're sneaky. So kind of cool to see these different stages of oyster recruitment on the beach. And yeah, it can be a little tricky because there's also other animals we'll find that are similar to oysters. I grabbed a shell of a
64,
jingle.
94.
So they would typically be found like these oysters
17.
here on the rock, but they would be flat against there. This of course is just a shell, so it's not perfectly fitting to the rock like it normally would, but these jingles, that nice fluting that happens with especially like this oyster right here. Notice how the shell really fringes out on the edges, whereas the jingle
91.
has some of this texture and shape, but definitely not as frilly. Like, I don't know if you can see in the shadow, this one definitely has a lot going on. This one might be a better example. So these Pacific oysters are something we noticed on our local beaches. We've been monitoring since 2013, and in 2015, 2016, we started noticing those little guys that we saw in Mike's pile, and like kind of this size of oyster. And it's kind of a cool thing to notice where we've been working on the beaches, looking at the biodiversity,
72.
and all of a sudden we're starting to pick up something that's different, something we hadn't seen before. And so we started measuring oysters back in 2015 and have continued to do that in both our summer and winter monitoring. And if you're interested in learning more about that data,
78.
Mike just joined us for cocktails and fishtails a while back, and you can find that video on our YouTube page as well as on our Facebook page, and learn more about why we're collecting this data, which is to better understand the oyster recruitment on our beaches, and kind of goes into some oyster restoration work There's the native oyster, the Olympia oyster, which we haven't seen any today. They're all the Pacific oysters.
127.
Part of how we can tell is sometimes the size. So our Olympia oysters, their max size is about 3 inches, so this would be kind of a big Olympia oyster if it was one, but it's not. And I can tell because looking at that part of the shell where the umbo is, where kind of claps open and closed, it starts to twist. So for an Olympia oyster, that would just fan straight out. Oops, fan straight out from that edge. Whereas this one, you can see this nice curve occurring. And so that's my clue that, oh, yep, this is indeed a Japanese oyster. It also kind of has these purple stripes happening. Sometimes, of course, those do get rubbed off, so color's not always your best indicator of telling things in the intertidal zone, as the green shore crab right here would tell. There's a purple green shore crab and a green shore crab. The trick is to look at their legs and see if they're hairy. Which, if I look closely, I don't know if I'm in focus, but yeah. Thank you for being right here when talking about how color might not be the best way to identify things. I'm of course going to put my rock right back where I found it so that crab stays nice and cool during this really surprisingly hot day compared to yesterday and a rainy day the day before. So again, we're out at Penrose Point State Park. It is gorgeous. We all brought our swimsuits and are excited to go for a dip jumping off the dock over at the boat launch. I'm looking over here and I can see that they already got 100 oyster measurements. So we're done for the day of beach monitoring here, but we'll be out on the beach again tomorrow, and I'll be talking more about the sea star surveys that we collaborate with. So thank you for tuning in, and of course, if you could let us know where you're tuning in from. We always like to see who's out and about, getting in touch with our videos here. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about oysters, and if you want to learn more, of course, please reach out to me, and I'd love to get you involved in this simple survey. Really, all you need is this fancy pair of calipers. So thanks again, and if you enjoyed today's video, you can always tune in to our YouTube page for more videos. Follow another live video with Harbor WildWatch. Follow us on social media, whether that's Facebook or Instagram. You can share those videos with your friends. You can become a Steward Club member. There's lots of fun, easy ways to support Harbor WildWatch, and we definitely appreciate all our Steward Club members out there. I see, hi Sarah, you must be watching. Appreciate you, and yeah, just delighted to be out on the beach on a beautiful day, and I'm thankful for all of you who stop in and check out this video. So, as always, learn, have fun.